Alright, before I start this review of the Medal of Honor beta, I have to give thanks to Abe the Rock Band for giving me an actual code so I could actually play this beta. It was sweet that he gave it to me. It's sweet because he gave it to me on my birthday. So I was like, oh, well, I feel like $1,000,000. I get to come home with my new 360 and play a freaking beta. And I gotta admit, I'm not gonna say what I liked about the beta, but I gotta admit that was really cool of him to actually give me the code. So thanks a lot. I don't know if you spent money on it or maybe had an extra reserve from your friend or something. I don't know. And you got an extra code or something. I'm not really sure. But anyway, thank you again so much. So let's go straight into the review. The link is on the bottom, by the way, to go and subscribe to his YouTube account. Sweet. Sweet thing he did. What a cutie pie. Anyway, let's go on to I guess there is no story of Medal of Honor beta. I guess just go on to whatever the hell. Let's just go straight to the gameplay of the Medal of Honor beta. I decided I'm going to do sound first, so sorry for that. I'm going to do sound. Now, the sound in the game is actually really, really good. DICE always does great sounds. I mean, if you hear an explosion in the background, it's an explosion. It's not like just a pre-rendered one. It's not like a freaking fake one, pretty much. It's really something exploding behind you. Okay, I mean the sound is great. Like the little voiceovers, they're good, but just the gun effects, the explosions, just the sheer amount of explosions you get in the game is really good. But I have to admit, because it's a very, very small area, it's not as good as Battlefield, only because it's a very, very small area. So if you hear explosion, it's not going to be very far. In Battlefield, if you hear explosion, it could be like miles away. So that's the big difference. So yeah, overall the sound is really good, definitely for the beta, and hopefully, it fixes some of the sound glitches. Like the full game gets, some of the sound glitches out of there, because sometimes it goes like it just skips a beat or something. Anyway, let's go on to the graphics of the game. Yeah, the gameplay. Let's do the graphics of the game first. Okay, now the graphics, I have to admit, DICE did a fantastic job with Battlefield Bad Company 2's graphics. So when I was playing this, I was like thinking, why are these so bland? The graphics are it's so bland in this game. Now, not saying it's bad, the environments look pretty good, stuff explodes a little bit, whatever. Character models look okay, but it's just bland altogether, and it's just very muddy looking. I don't know how all the other levels look, because they only let us play 2 in the beta. It's not like it's a freaking demo. I mean, give us a little bit more than just 2, unless there's like 5 altogether, then never mind. I'll just say right here, the graphics are not very good, but they're okay. They're not very good, but they're okay. They're bland. Okay, whatever. Anyway, let's go into the gameplay of the game. Of the beta game, whatever. Okay, now the gameplay is pretty simple. It's a first-person shooter, except what makes this one different is absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing is different in this, and I am very sad about this, because Battlefield, the thing that made it different is the huge open world and just how much fun it was, how beautiful it was. You get to use vehicles. It really wasn't done as good as Battlefield before, and Battlefield always did it like fantastically. This is Battlefield if it was Call of Duty, and it fails epically. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, when I say fails epically, I mean it's not as good as Call of Duty 4. Like, Call of Duty 6 I can't stand anymore. Call of Duty 4, it's not good as Call of Duty 4. It might be as good as Call of Duty 6, I think. Because I can't stand it, I'm sorry. So, it's still a good game. It's just a good shooter. It's just not innovative at all. And it's Medal of Honor, which makes me very sad, because I love Medal of Honor. Medal of Honor was my first-person shooter ever. I can't say that. My first-person shooter ever. So yeah, it's very sad to see this just be generic and trying to be as good as Call of Duty. But DICE still does a great job with Battlefield, so hopefully when Battlefield Vietnam comes out, it'll be great. And hopefully when this game comes out, it'll have a fantastic story and better online than I saw in this beta. It did not sell me. I don't think the beta is bad at all. I think it's kind of fun. I'll definitely play some more of it before I stop and say screw it all. So yeah, if I had to give the beta anything, I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. I didn't think it was bad. There's really nothing to talk about. I mean, the beta was disappointing. I mean, the customization was like the little bit you get if you rise up a few levels is okay, but it's nothing that I haven't seen before. I've seen that in freaking Blacklight Tango Down, which I also reviewed, which I like a little bit more than this. So yeah. the game is not bad. Don't get me wrong. And there's also one more problem. Every time you die, the game freezes. It has a whole bunch of glitches, graphical glitches, sound glitches, gameplay glitches. Like your gun sometimes won't be rendered, so it's just a big white thing. Sometimes when you die, it freezes completely. Like when you die, every time you die, it freezes for half a second, and then you see your dead body. But sometimes when you die, it freezes all together, and you have to shut off your Xbox. Which I was like, oh come on. Sometimes stuff like in the wind, it's supposed to be like stuff like garbage blowing it in your face and stuff. It just looks ridiculously retarded, and it looks so screwed up. It reminds me of Mercenaries 2 for the PS2. If you heard my review for that, big freaking pixels about freaking 7 feet tall. It looks like getting crammed in your face, except it's supposed to be like glitter and stuff breezing in the wind. And I'm like, don't do that. Really, I don't want that. Anyway, the game ain't bad. Some glitches don't ruin the game, except when it freezes, then it does. But overall, 7.5 out of 10. An okay beta, but very disappointing. I was definitely hoping for more. So anyway, there's my review for the beta. Go subscribe to Abe the Rock Band and thanks for giving me the beta. Definitely happy I didn't pay $5 for it just to pre-order and then not get it. So yeah, thanks and goodbye.